Central African time. France cruised through the group stages before sending Nigeria packing with a 2-0 winning in the first knockout stage. But France coach believes that Germany's experience will be more than enough for them. Now I see that my auto cue has done its own thing. Let me find where we are in the script. Right. Now France coach believes Germany's experience of playing high pressure games might give them an edge in tonight's match. So the Coach Didier Deschamps had some comments to make, which we'll be playing for you in the next clip when we do play it. And then Germany, by contrast, have struggled in some of their matches and needed extra time to beat the persistent Algeria to reach the quarterfinals. After an impressive 4-0 win in their first group stage match of the tournament against Portugal, Germany coach Joachim Löw has conceded that his team performance has not lived up to people's expectations. Right, now the World Cup quarterfinals are here, and tonight it's big gun time. First up, we've got European giants France and Germany at 6, and then at 10 p.m. a Latin American derby, Brazil against Colombia. For this hour, we're focused on the European derby, and in the next hour, we'll look at Brazil and Colombia. Head-to-head between Germany and France, their last 3 meetings were even. France 1-1 and Germany 1-1. The score both times was 2-1 and a single nil-all draw. So we're set for a real humdinger of a match. Mark Haskins is here with us to do our preview. Mark, good morning, and thank you for coming through.
Morning, Kendall. Thanks for having me.
Mark, we're literally looking for a very, very tense match tonight.
Definitely. These two teams are quite evenly matched. And even if you look at the way they play their groups, they both came out the group with 7 points. So it's going to be a really good game.
Right. Now, Germany have got very impressive stats. I mean, they're 3-time world champions. They've got the most matches played at the World Cups, 101. And they've scored the most goals, 212, as well as having consecutive top goal scorers at 3 World Cups, 2002, 2006, and 2010.
Yeah, Germany are a team that's, you can call them a percentage team because you know exactly what you're going to get from them. Germany, against any opposition that doesn't play to the best of their ability, Germany will punish them. If you show any signs of weakness, Germany are precision personified. That's why they will punish you for any mistakes you make. That's, you know, what we've come to know from the Germans. They like clockwork. Whatever they need to do, they will do on the day. They won't veer from any set prerequisites or whatever the case may be. They know exactly what they need to do, and they will do accordingly. So if you show any weaknesses, they will punish it. So that's why they've become the most, they've featured at just about every World Cup, and they've played the most games. So they will, if you give them a chance, they will punish you. That's what we've come to expect from Germany.
In fact, yeah, no, too true. We've seen what they did to Algeria. We've seen what they did to the other opposition. Now, France, on the other hand, are no slouches either, Mark. France have got 1 title in 1998, and the runners-up in 2006, and they seem to be looking pretty slick.
For the longest time, France were also like the Dutch. They were, underachievers at the World Cup. You look at the generation of Michel Platini and the likes of him. They underachieved. They were, a lot was expected of them, but they never really went all the way until the generation of Zinedine Zidane came through. Your Thierry Henrys, Didier Deschamps, who's the coach now. That was a quality team, and they lived up to expectations by winning the '98 World Cup. And then again in '06, they did really well. But then you look back to 2010, where they had a dismal showing at the World Cup. So this current crop have come together really nicely, and they've got a lot to make up for based on the performance at the previous World Cup.
All right, well, let's get to the meat of the bones now. Let's look at some of the game breakers on each side. We start with a contender for the Golden Boot Award from Germany, Thomas Muller. Now, Muller has done extremely well. He's scored 4 goals already.
He's not an aesthetically beautiful player, but he's the type of player who gets the job done. He's the type of player that the coach can't leave out of the lineup because he gets in and amongst the goals. He'll always cause problem for defenders. He runs hard. Even he does his job defensively as well. So he works both ends of the field. And he's just the type of player his grit and determination is what sets him apart. I mean, he was the top goal scorer at the last World Cup, and this edition he's again put himself in line for the Golden Boot. So you know that from Thomas Muller, you know exactly, like we say, Germans are percentage players. You know exactly what you're going to get from him. He's going to run hard. He's not necessarily going to score beautiful goals, but he's going to get amongst the goals. And sometimes you need those players who, they don't care how they score, they don't care how the game is going, but they'll find a way to get a result. They'll grind out a result. They'll do whatever it takes. And he's that kind of player. And that's why he's so vital for Germany.
Interesting enough, this particular player, he's had 4 solo runs into the area and 2 assists, as well as 5 penalty area deliveries. And his percentages, 61.5% attempts on target. That's not necessarily the highest, though. However, he has managed to get his 4 goals.
61% on target is actually a good stat because, I mean, he's not always getting clear cut, and they count every opportunity, even if a header that, just goes, or whatever the case may be, they count every opportunity. So that is a good percentage. But this is so reminiscent of him. You say games played. He played all the games. He played 382 minutes. He's going to give you his best all the time, and that's why he plays so much minutes as well. And when you talk about solo runs into the area, that's what they expect from him. He's good at making blind runs. He's always coming into the box really late, coming in behind defenders. And, defenders, the great thing about that, you can't defend what you can't see. And that's why they call it the blind run, because he's coming in the defender's blind spot. And by the time he gets in front of the defender, it's too late. And he's so good at that. And that's why he gets amongst the goals. And so he'll be key for Germany tonight.
Okay, now let's look at the other end of the field, but still with Germany, where goalkeepers have been particularly crucial in this tournament, and what with the quality of the attacking football that you've just described. For example, let's look at Manuel Neuer, the strong man in Germany's goal. Now, Manuel Neuer, he's played 4 matches as well, just about 8 minutes more than Thomas Muller did, and his save rate is extremely high, 81.3%.
Manuel Neuer is the glue that keeps Germany together, I would say. If you look at the Algeria game, he had his best game of the tournament. When they needed him, he stood up. Because if you look at even his clearances, he came off his line, out of his box. I mean, he was playing literally as a sweeper in that game. And he came up big for them, because that's where Algeria kind of, if it weren't for Neuer, Algeria could have beaten Germany on the night. So, again, tonight, I feel he's going to be huge for them. Germany don't have the quickest defenders, and that's why they use him as that sweeper keeper. You even seen how much pace he has for a big man. He was running, like literally sprinting for a ball with one of the Algerian strikers, and he managed to, get a sliding tackle in. So, I mean, he's an exceptional player. And the current goalkeepers in today's day and age, you have to be able to play with your feet. And that's what Neuer is able to do. He can start the play from the back. And that's what makes Germany so good, because they have a goalkeeper who can play with his feet. He starts most of their plays, and that's big for them.
And so that's why his completion rate of passes
his
also...
pass completion.
And it's very good. Now, the clean sheets that he's kept 2 clean sheets, which has been fairly difficult in this World Cup.
With the rate of scoring we've had, that is good as well. And the goals he's conceded, he doesn't concede easy goals. That's the big thing with Neuer. You really have to come with something solid to beat him. He hasn't conceded anything soft. And so France tonight, again, to beat this guy, they're going to have to come up with some really good plays.
And talking of which, now looking at the French team, they pretty much, it was pretty difficult to decide which ones were the key players and the 2 game breakers to choose from. What do you make about the depth of their bench, Mark?
France, for me, probably the most complete team at the World Cup. Because if you look at their overall play, it's difficult to choose 1 or 2 players who stand out head and shoulders above the rest. All their players are quite evenly matched, and they all play at a very high standard. And so for me, even if you go to their bench, the likes of Remy, they've got so many players. Bakary Sagna is a bench player. And those are world-class players playing for some of the best clubs in the world. And so the French team, that's one attribute that counts in their favor, because they have a really deep bench, and it's going to count.
Right now, Karim Benzema, I see it's been put up on screen for us already. He's played 4 matches. He scored 3 goals. And I reckon if things had gone their way and some of the officiating hadn't been as controversial as it's been, he would easily have been on 6 goals.
He actually scored a 4th one that was like a second too late. I think it was the Switzerland game,
yes,
where he literally scored a beautiful goal, but the ref had blown just before he struck the ball.
I think it struck the ball already, Mark.
Maybe, yeah.
I believe it struck the ball already.
It was really
and the
close.
referee should not have blown. He should have let the ball go in.
It was really close. So he should be on 4 goals. But yeah, he's an exceptional player as well. The great thing with him is his movement around the box. defenders, the nightmare he causes for defenders is the fact that he's not a static striker. He's not your classic target man. He moves around the box, so he's always moving on the defender's shoulders, and it's really difficult to mark a player that's always moving. So he always also moves in the blind spots of his defenders, and that's how he gets into good positions to score goals.
Now, his attempts on target are slightly better, in fact, quite a lot better than we saw for Thomas Muller, 76% with 2 assists. This guy is a prolific striker. He's the kind of guy that makes you scared if you're a defender.
Definitely, he's definitely a player that Germany are going to be wary of because of, as you can see, his attempts on target, 76%. It shows he gets into good positions. That means he's getting really good chances. That's why he's able to get them on target. And so he gets himself into those good positions. And that in itself is a skill, to move into those spaces where defenders can't see you, where you can get the ball to get those strikes on goal. He's an exceptional player and definitely someone Germany are going to have to keep a close eye on.
All right, let's have a look, see at Mathieu Valbuena and see what his stats look like. He's a midfielder, and this guy, you're always hearing about Mathieu Valbuena as the players are playing. Valbuena has always been at the top of the midfielder rankings. He's played 3 matches. His crosses completed 36.7, passes completion 72.8, 1 assist, and he's actually managed to recover 8 balls.
Yeah, that's the thing about him. He works really hard. He's one of the shortest players in the tournament, so you get to he's noticeable by how short he is. When you say he recovered 8 balls, that shows how he works both ends of the field as well, and that's so important for midfielders these days. He plays more on the wing, but as a winger you have to go up and down the field, and he does that really well. He gets back to defend and help out in defense, but then at the same time he's got pace to get up the field and really cause nightmares for defenders as well.
Right. Well, Mark, I think as soon as we can, we're going to get up tweets to just let us know what people are saying about these 2 matches. But in the meantime, in terms of this match, Germany against France, we've got a world superpower in Germany. We've got a world superpower contender in the case of France. What do you think the score is going to be in this one?
On the day, it's difficult to call, but I believe France could edge this one. Purely based on the fact that Germany have not been all that convincing when they play against teams who actually have a go at them. And I do believe France will have a go. A lot of the teams they've played have kind of tried to play them on the counter-attack, but I do believe they're evenly matched, and France will back themselves to really go at Germany, and they will put up a good showing. So in that regard, I believe France should edge this one.
Okay. When you say edge?
It's going to be tight. I don't think we're going to get a blowout in this game. It's going to be, I would say, a 1-0, 2-1 scoreline, a really close score. 2-1 has probably been the most popular. We've had a 2-1 scoreline in most of the games in this tournament. So I would say that's a distinct possibility tonight as well.
Right. Well, Mark, we're looking forward to it. In fact, we're also looking forward to chatting about the Brazil-Colombia match. You know, the one where Colombia is going to beat the hosts, Brazil, in Brazil to go into the semi-final. That one. Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to be the best thing for the tournament itself, but it is a possibility. Yeah.
I'll tell you this, Mark. In fact, I'm telling it to all of you. If Colombia do go through and beat Brazil, I'm shaving it all off. Shaving it all off.
That will be something to see. We'll see how that goes.
Right. Thank you very much, Mark.